There are a few things in my luggage that are so useful, I would genuinely pay 10 times more than what I paid for them. I won't travel without them anymore because when you're living out of a suitcase or a backpack for months at a time, the right gear stops being a nice to have and starts being the thing that keeps you sane. In this video, I'm sharing 15 travel essentials that solve real problems. And these are things that most packing lists completely miss. I'll link everything in the description if you want to check any of them out, but for now, let's get into it. Starting with the one that has made the biggest difference for me on my travels so far. Number one, a TENS unit. A TENS unit is a small device that sends these electrical pulses into your muscles to help with pain and recovery. I actually almost didn't bring mine. Felt like one of those nice to have but unnecessary things that would just sit in my bag. But full-time travel is hard on your body in ways that you just don't expect. You're walking more, you're carrying more, you're sitting in uncomfortable positions for longer than usual, and you're sleeping in beds that aren't yours. So eventually something starts to hurt. Now for me, it was my knee after a long downhill day on the Camino de Santiago, and I started using this device about 20 minutes at night and sometimes during the day if it started to flare up, and it made a noticeable difference within a couple of days. Without it, I think I would have had to stop. And this isn't just for something like a long hike. If you already deal with any kind of chronic pain, this helps ease it in the moment and keeps it from getting worse on the road. What matters more is that this isn't something that you can easily find once you're already dealing with pain. Pharmacies are easy. You can find pain relievers, anti-inflammatory cream, or braces. Those basics are anywhere, but a TENS unit is the thing you'll wish you already had. You might not use it every day. I luckily haven't had to use mine in a couple months, but if something starts bothering you, you will be so glad that it's already in your bag. Number two, light blocking stickers. These are just small blackout stickers that you put over those annoying lights in a room. Every room usually has at least one light you can't turn off. Things like AC panels, TV standby lights, fire alarms, or just random chargers. And sometimes they're bright enough to light up the entire room. I'm in a place right now where the AC display basically acts like a nightlight and there's no setting to turn it off. So these stickers just go right over it and block the light completely. Takes a few seconds to apply and the room is actually dark again. And it's such a small thing, but once you start packing them, you'll wonder how you ever slept without them. Sleep matters a lot when you're traveling. And you don't always know what sleeping situation you'll be walking into, which is exactly why this next item is in my bag too. Number three, a sleeping bag liner. Sleeping bag liner is basically a much thinner, lightweight version of a sleeping bag. It's not for warmth, it's for cleanliness. So instead of sleeping directly on the bed, you're inside your own layer. And it folds down really small, so it barely takes up any space in your bag. Now, this really depends on how you travel. If you're staying in nice hotels the whole time, you obviously don't need this. But if you're doing things like hostels, homestays, or volunteer opportunities, places where you don't fully know what you're walking into, this is really useful. I've used it in places where I wasn't totally sure about the cleanliness, and then others that felt clean but just didn't have the proper bedding. There was a homestay where I was only given a really rough, itchy blanket, so having this made a big difference. It works as a bottom sheet and also a layer between you and whatever you're using as a blanket. Most of them also have a built-in section for the pillow, so you're covered there too. It really just depends on what you walk into accommodation-wise, but having it means you don't have to worry when you're already there and ready to go to bed. Number four, a long charging cable. This solves a problem you run into constantly. Outlets are almost never where you want them to be. They're behind the bed or across the room or just nowhere where you actually sit. Having a long charger cord just brings the outlet to you. You can charge your phone next to your bed, work from wherever is most comfortable, and not have to rearrange everything just to plug something in. I have needed this more times than I can count. And this same outlet problem shows up when you're trying to get ready, but this next item fixes it. Number five, a portable makeup mirror. Because the mirror, outlets, and good lighting are almost never in the same place. So instead of trying to make the space work, you just move to where it actually makes sense. I've gotten ready on beds, at desks, even in the kitchen on the counter because that's where the outlet was. It's also really helpful if you're sharing a space or staying in a hostel. If someone's in the bathroom or using the one mirror, you're not waiting around. You can just get ready somewhere else. And it's not just for makeup. Anything where you need a mirror, like shaving, skincare routine, or putting in contacts, it gives you that same flexibility. Mine has a built-in light and folds up flat, so it's just easy to throw in your bag without taking up much space. It's a simple thing, but it gives you a lot more flexibility in places that aren't set up well, which ends up being a lot of them. And while we're on the topic of getting ready, this next one is something I use all the time. Number six, a makeup eraser cloth. It's this microfiber cloth that removes makeup with just water, including waterproof mascara and eyeliner. So you don't need to rely on whatever removers you can find locally. When you're moving between countries or continents, you don't always have access to the same products that you use at home. I found that most international places only carry micellar water, and that isn't usually strong enough to remove waterproof makeup. So what ends up happening is I run out of my own product more quickly than I planned, or I'm dealing with leftover makeup that never fully comes off. Now, this cloth solves that problem. I use it to remove everything at the end of the day, and then I just use a small amount of my actual remover whenever I need it, usually just with a Q-tip to clean up my eyeliner or sharpen the wing. That way, I'm not relying on local products that don't work the same, and I'm not going through my own products too quickly. I've actually been traveling for months, and I'm still using the same bottle of eye makeup remover I brought with me from home because of this cloth. Speaking of cloths, this next product is one I didn't even know existed before I started traveling, but it is a game changer for women. Number 7, a Kula cloth. It's a reusable antimicrobial cloth that you use in place of toilet paper. Now, hear me out. This comes up in more situations than you'd expect when traveling. I first saw it on the Camino, but it's good for more than just hiking. Really, anytime you don't have a bathroom, or even if you do, but there's no toilet paper, which happens a lot in certain countries or at bus stations or on long travel days or in more remote areas. So instead of trying to track down toilet paper or carry it with you and then figure out what to do with it after, you just have something that works every single time. You use it and then you fold it so the used side is covered, you clip it onto your bag, and it dries as you go. Then you just wash it whenever you have access to laundry. And it may feel a little weird at first, but once you're in situations where you need it, you will be so glad that you have it. Now, having access to laundry isn't always as straightforward as you'd expect, so this is what I use on the road. Number 8, a mini laundry kit. Mine is pretty simple. I have sink suds, which is just a travel detergent that you can use in a sink, a travel clothesline, and a small bottle of Febreze. In the future, I'd also bring a sink stopper because a lot of sinks actually don't hold water, and that makes this harder than it needs to be. When you're traveling full time, you don't always have easy access to laundry. Some places don't have machines, and some laundry services take a full day or more. Sometimes you just need something again the next day and it can't wait. So I use this in two ways. If I actually need something clean, I'll wash a few things in the sink with the detergent, wring them out, and then hang them up overnight on the clothesline. And if something's not actually dirty or just lightly worn, that's where the Febreze comes in. I just give it a quick spray and let it air out, and it buys me another day or two before I have to wash it. This just gives you options, so you're not planning your schedule around laundry or running out of things to wear. This next item I use daily and get asked about all the time. Number 9, a mocked phone stand. This is one of my favorite things that I own, and it's something that I use constantly. It's this super thin stand that sticks to the back of your phone, and it folds flat when you're not using it. So it's always there, but you really don't notice it. On a practical level, it's just a way to prop up your phone when you actually need it. If you're watching a show or taking a call, or if you just don't want to hold your phone the whole time, you can set it up instantly. But it also doubles as a small, discreet tripod. If I want to capture something quickly or take a photo when I'm all by myself, I can just set my phone down and it's already positioned. For content, it's perfect because I can set it up, get the shot, and be done before anyone really notices. But if I want something more stable or more intentional than that, that's where this next item comes in. Number 10, a tripod with a remote. This is a game changer when you're traveling solo. Because when you're at a viewpoint or a landmark or somewhere where you actually want a good photo, you don't always want just a quick selfie. You want this shot that shows where you are. So with this, you can set your phone up where it actually looks good, the right height, the right angle, and then step away from it. And the remote is what makes this work. You're not running back and forth, you're not messing with the timer. You can just take the photo when it actually looks right. So you can get full shots, photos that feel more natural, and moments you probably wouldn't have captured otherwise. And even beyond that, it's great for group style shots or anything you just don't want to take selfie style. It takes a little more effort than something like the mocked phone stand, but when you want that kind of shot, this is what makes it possible. This next item is what I use to carry my day-to-day things around. Number 11, a foldable backpack. What I like about it is how little space it actually takes up when you're traveling. It folds down super small, so it's easy to keep in your luggage without feeling like you're committing to bringing a whole second bag. But once you're actually using it, it functions like a normal backpack. I use it when I'm out sightseeing or going to a cafe or co-working space, or just to carry everything I need for the day. It holds a lot more than you'd expect, and I haven't had any issues with it breaking, even after almost 8 months of heavy use. So it's one of those things that's really easy to pack, but still reliable enough for everyday use. And another great bag option is something like this. Number 12, a small collapsible tote. This is the kind of thing that you just keep with you at all times because it basically takes up no space, and it comes in handy in really specific situations. When you're at the market or doing a grocery store run or just picking up things while you're out, or even something like carrying a wet bathing suit so it's not going back into your main bag. It's not something I use as my primary bag for the day, but it's one of those things that's always useful to have on you. Because it's so small, there's no reason not to bring it, and you'll end up using it a lot more than you'd expect. Another essential for traveling, if you're going to bring your laptop. Number 13, a laptop sleeve and a small pouch. The one I use is super lightweight, but still padded enough to protect it, and it has this flap that folds into a slight stand. So if I'm working somewhere for a while, I can prop my laptop up for a bit instead of typing completely flat the whole time. It's a small thing, but it's more comfortable, especially if you're sitting there for a few hours. But honestly, I use it just as much for keeping my laptop clean because you're setting it down on all kinds of surfaces when you're traveling: cafe tables, outdoor patios, beach spots, and other random surfaces you end up working from. So instead of putting it directly on the table, I'll just leave it on top of the sleeve. And then the pouch just keeps everything together: charger, mouse, AirPods, all in one place. So when I throw everything in my bag, it's not loose at the bottom. I'm not digging around for things or realizing I left something behind. And the combo fits easily into my backpack, so it's really simple when I head out. This next one ended up being way more useful in ways I didn't expect. Number 14, a headlamp. And it's not just for hiking, although it is really useful for things like early morning hikes or sunset views. I've actually used this more in everyday situations while traveling. In Guatemala, I experienced a 36-hour power outage, and after my phone died, this was the only light I had left. I've also used it walking at night when I just didn't want to drain my phone battery. It's small and doesn't take up much space, so it doesn't hurt to have it in your bag. And the last essential is number 15, a foldable dual voltage hairdryer. Not every place you stay is going to have a hairdryer, especially if you choose more budget-friendly options. Finding a foldable one makes it easy to bring because it doesn't take up much space in your bag. And the dual voltage is very important because it means you can actually use it in different countries without worrying about frying it. And outside of drying my hair, I've actually used this a lot in places where it gets cold at night. I've used it to warm up after a shower or when the room's a little colder than I expected. And that's everything. These are the kinds of things that can really improve your experience once you're actually traveling. If you're getting into full-time travel or just want more content like this, subscribe for more videos. Thanks for watching.